As a content creator, do you think you're responsible for your community? When I say responsible for your community, I mean, like, let's say if a content creator's community is toxic, do you think it's their responsibilities for them not to be?
I don't know. Say that again.
So if a content creator's community is toxic, like they're negative, they're always just toxic. It's I guess I gotta explain, huh? So I know Don probably know what I'm saying, but just for GP and anybody else. But basically, content creators have a community. They have a group of fans that kind of represent who they are, kind of. So, like, for instance, when Ninja was extremely popular, his community was fairly toxic. Like, they're misogynistic sometimes, transphobic or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or racist. They'll say things like that. Do you think is the content creator's responsibility to kind of like mitigate that, or just be like a role model in some sense?
I mean, I think it's your responsibility. You said to mitigate. I think mitigate is a good word, or to address it.
Yeah.
Now, if you, because this is what someone say. What's the old phrase? If you don't stand up for anything, then you accept everything.
You fall for everything.
Yeah,
you'll fall for everything.
Yeah.
If you don't stand up for something, you fall for everything.
I'm not gonna say fall, because fall means like you literally. I'll go with that. Let's just go with that. But I say that because if you never say anything, that to me you're allowing it to happen, or you could possibly be scared to lose your followers because that's your main target audience.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that falls on you, because why are you attracting these type of people? Like,
right.
It's and I'm saying this, I tell people all the time, I'm a Christian and whatnot. If all of a sudden I'm attracting, let's just say, atheists, it's like, man, how did that happen? And then they go and just say they attack every other Christian that joins the chat. Well, just making a fake scenario. You wonder, how did that happen? Is James not a Christian? You'll start questioning me, like, how's he getting with these people? Or James scared to speak because these people give him the most money. So what should I do? So I just think if you're scared to address it because you're losing money, I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing to you, because that's your business. Like, and I'm literally saying a business, or that's something your hobby. But I do think if you're not for it and you let it happen, that's when it's like, yeah, you tripping, because now you're going against something is not right. If you kind of 50-50 on it, listen, I'm not here to go through judging. Do what you want to make it, because you're gonna, people say the phrase, sometimes you have to shake your hand with the devil. I'm not taking that approach, but there are times where you just like, hey, I'm at the team up with this dude I don't like, because we can further help each other. But I do think it's your job to address it. To fix it, no, but to address it, let people know where you stand, where I'm about, yes. Because if you don't, then from the outside in, you are agreeing with those people.
No.
All right. So I was gonna say, so I got a point. I was like, all right. So, I think So when it comes for the people's community, right? Say, I do think they should address address certain situations and what their community say, like what he said. If there's a lot of misogyny going on or racism going on in your community, I feel like you should address it, right? You should at least address it with, like, your community. Say you stream on Twitch, you can make comments on it on Twitch, right? But I don't think they're wholeheartedly responsible for the community's actions, right? Because when it comes to some of these communities, there's a lot of people in these communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can say stuff and tell people not to do stuff, but then you still have those who, they may even raise your flag but not be with you, right? They may raise your flag and commit acts with your flag, even though they're not with you on your side. They just putting up appearances like that, right? Because I feel like, in a sense, they shouldn't be fully responsible, because if if things they doing and not, and like the things they show, the actions they show are not showing like these actions, like say when you're with your community or whatever and you're doing this or you're streaming or whatever, you get done streaming and the people from your group go and attack somebody else, but you're not portraying that energy at all, right? I don't think you're 100% responsible for it. I guess it's hard to say.
So
I do agree with you on that.
agree with each other. You basically just said the same thing.
You gotta address it, but you can't control. At the end of the day, people gonna be people.
Exactly. That's kind of like how the army is. Like when you become a sergeant, like the army think like everything your soldier do is your fault. So like if they ain't tie their shoes in the morning and they come to work and they ask you why your soldier's shoes ain't tied, you're like, bro, I did not wake up with this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his 2 feet, you know. But you get in trouble for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, keep saying the same thing y'all said. I agree. It's not your responsibility, but you should address it. You are who you attract. So if you attract these people, I feel like you should, at least in your chat, gotta say something. Because I read a tweet basically saying, if you have a community and you never stood up for women, then you're wrong. And I'm not here to say anybody's right or wrong, because there's no right and wrong when it comes to this. Everybody has their own opinion. But morally speaking, if you are a moral person, I feel like you should say something. You should, because when I had my little small community, people would come in the chat, say some stuff, and they'll get banned. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you get the ban hammer, and we don't play. We don't play that aggressive stuff.
You set those.
Yeah, I set the law.
You set those boundaries early.
Right. Yep. So, and the people that was around, they was all positive. So, so the people that watched me, we were cool. So if they go out and do something, they know they came from a good place, So, but yeah, I'm not gonna be the same thing on that.
I was gonna add like one little thing to it.
Go ahead.
Because I'm pretty sure y'all know who PewDiePie is, right?
Yeah.
And there was that incident where somebody had shot up like, I guess, a church or like a place of worship for whatever.
Yeah, and they shouted out him.
Religion, and then they said, subscribe to PewDiePie, whatever, like that, right? I don't understand how people will put that on to him, to be exact, because I watch his videos and stuff like that, and he never says like negative things about religion or things of that sort. So I don't see how like something in that sense would be his fault, right? And then whenever something does happen, watch Better Enough to Catch His Name or whatever, he makes comments, and to stand against these things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened though was that he had said some anti-ethic, I think that's how you say that. Things, or he said something that could be viewed as anti-ethic. And people will cast up outrage on that, and then the attack that had happened was like a anti-Semitic attack. So that's kind of how they linked the two. But I mean, it is what it is. I wouldn't. You can't really like we just said, we can't blame somebody for someone else's actions. But you do got to address it though. So. It's society, man. You gotta address it. Even if you do address it, people ain't gonna like it. But at least some people would recognize it and respect you for it. But
right.
It's really up to ultimately like how you view society and how you want to be painted in the light in the society we live in. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But